Hey everybody, it's Max Angor, and I had an epiphany. Partially based on Rattlehead and partially based on Eggwife. Um, so as I've said many a time, let me see here. Can you see? Nope. There we go. I have a tattoo of a roguelike I had been playing for 20 years. I finally beat it. Adom, Ancient Domains of Mystery. I finally beat it. Okay. So Adom is a roguelike. Roguelikes have dice rolls. Dice rolls. Okay, RNGesus. We all are familiar with RNGesus. You pray to RNGesus. I am renouncing RNGesus. I'm no longer going to use them as much as I can. Because I've realized over the years that the games I actively enjoy compared to the games I actively get angry at are games where I ride or die by my own skill, like Hades, like Eggwife, like even Cyberpunk to an extent. I mean, as busted as it was, I have got to admit I had fun with it. Like even fighting games, which I can't even play anymore because of my fucking fibro fingers, or arthritis fingers, I guess, because apparently I have fibro and arthritis. Fibro for the nerve pain, arthritis for the joint pain. I mean, they kind of work together, but whatever. Anyway, damn. My point being is, I was looking at Carlos, and I was Rattlehead. That's his Twitter name, and he got hired by NetherRealm Studios for consulting work to make Mortal Kombat 12 blind accessible, and it really is blind accessible. So mad props to him and mad props to them for reaching out to him. But I realized, why did Carlos get that gig? Well, I mean, I make my videos and I ask for keys and I try to make, overall gaming a better place. But my lane has always kind of been roguelikes, even though there aren't that many for me to, review. It's kind of a niche genre. But that's the one I spent the most time in. But the games piss me off so much. Whereas with Carlos, and Blind Press to a lesser extent, they play fighting games. Carlos has done tournaments and shit. I mean, he's a legit fighting game guy. That is his thing. And it makes sense for NetherRealm to hire him because he knows the mechanics. He knows that shit inside and out. So it makes sense you'd hire him because not only does he know the shit inside and out, like your, Sonic Foxes and your other, really big fighting game guys, but he's also blind, so he knows those mechanics inside and out. He knows the options that you can add to make a game super accessible to the blind, but especially fighting games because that's his bread and butter. And I realized I need a bread and butter. And I've already kind of had a bread and butter, anything based on skill. I suck at fighting games, but I still like them. But I'm not going to choose fighting games because of my fibro fingers. That's just too much of a barrier to entry. I can still do the psychology, but I can't. I've never been able to do the combos, and that's only gotten worse as I've gotten older. So what does that leave me? That leaves me with first-person shooters, which I like, the old boomer shooters, and it leaves me with roguelites like Hades and, the turn-based ones that don't rely on RNG. And then, the role-playing games that also don't rely on RNG, like South Park Stick of Truth, if I could have gotten that to work. But the damn thing kept crashing. That didn't use RNG. That was skill-based. So anything skill-based. So Eggwife, for example, that would be one that I would try to learn. Or, postal brain damage, Hyperstrange stuff, because Hyperstrange has been good to me. Apparently, they've been good to Eggwife, too. I've been on their Discord, and apparently they got a really good deal on their music or something like that. They just asked Hyperstrange, hey, can we release their music? And Hyperstrange's like, yeah, sure, which, I mean, meshes well with the interactions I've had with them. They've been good to me, so... back when they were making Elderborn, back when they were just a dev studio, so... It's nice to see that kind of consistency in a publishing studio. You never see that shit anymore. But anyway, my point is I'm renouncing RNGesus because, like with Baldur's Gate, for example, every time the best laid plans, Baldur's Gate, XCOM 2, Battle Brothers, anything with an RNG, I get fucked on. And that's why it took me 20 years to beat ADOM. I had all the strategies. That's another thing about strategies. It's all fucking min-max with the RNG. You have to make the RNG work for you, and min-max goes against role-playing, and I like role-playing. I like playing a role. And it hit me all at once that roguelikes are fun, but the best roguelikes that I have found, the ones that I keep coming back to, are the ones that rely on skill rather than fucking dice rolls, because I have horrifically bad luck with dice rolls. Like, terrible luck. I can't even play Baldur's Gate 3 because I have such bad luck with dice rolls. Like, to anybody who's played Baldur's Gate 3, I played it on Explorer difficulty. I'm not proud of it, but I did. This was before the patch that doubled the health. This is back when it was only 50%, but it still proves my point. But after the tutorial, you crash land, and you have to fight 2 brains. So I got Shadowheart, and I fought the 2 brains, and they killed me. We missed every single shot that we had, and they killed me. They killed me. I mean, 2 fucking brains killed me because the RNG decided, fuck you, you're dead. That's not fun, and there's no way to work around that. With my disabilities, and I mean with the accessibility in general, the whole adding options for us to play your games. It's all about finding ways to work around our limitations. There's no way to work around our limitations when it's a dice roll. When it's a dice roll, you're either fucked or you're not. It's just simple as that. So it made me realize that even though I played ADOM for 20 years, I fucking hate that game. Or to be more specific, I hate the dice rolls. I hate the dice rolls in Baldur's Gate. I hate the dice rolls in Battle Brothers. I hate that shit. I like the strategy games like Urtuk. Urtuk is Battle Brothers, but good. Because Urtuk doesn't use dice rolls. Or if it does, it uses them very sparingly, like ranged attacks in Urtuk. If you're firing over the enemies, over a bunch of enemies, there's like a 50% chance you'll fail, and, elevation plays a role. But by and large, if you swing, you hit. And that works for the enemies too. So, it's a fair playing field, obviously. But my point remains valid. When I fail at Hades, it is because I have failed at Hades. When Baldur's Gate fails me, it is because Baldur's Gate has failed me with their shitty fucking not really random number generated dice rolls. I mean, there are so many fucking threads where, in XCOM, in any game with dice rolls, where it says 97% chance to hit, 100% chance to hit, and you'll miss, and you'll miss, and you'll miss, and you'll miss, and I'm the one who always misses. I am the one who gets the bad dice rolls. RNGesus does not love me, so fuck him. I will play games that are skill-based rather than luck-based, is basically what I'm trying to say. And now, the quest becomes, as it were, becomes finding a game that I can be good at, or a genre rather, that I can be good at, that I can devote my time to become that good as Rattlehead, as good as Blind Press to a lesser extent. Because, I've seen her practice. She labs all the damn time. She's putting the work in. Rattlehead's putting the work in. I'm not really putting the work in. And, the only games I really have put in the work in are games that I can keep coming back to. And the game that I keep coming back to the most is Hades. It just is what it is. If you look at my channel, Hades is the big one. So maybe when Hades 2 comes out, I'll spend an ungodly amount of time on that and getting good on that. Or maybe when Cyberpunk comes out on the 25th, I'll spend a lot of time getting good on that. I don't know. But the point remains that the games that I decide I'm going to get good at, that I'm going to actually put time into, one, I'm actually going to do it, because that's something I haven't been able to do very well because I have the ADD. You've seen me. I jump from game to game all the damn time. But I need to find a focus. I need to find something that I can say, that is my game, that is my genre. And it's probably going to be the roguelite and the FPS genres, the boomer shooter genres. Even though Cyberpunk isn't necessarily a boomer shooter. I don't know what it is about shooting games and roguelite games. I think the roguelite games are the twitchy kind of movements from Mario 3, Mario 1, the Pitfall 2, Monty's Revenge on the fucking 800, and then you've got the first-person shooters, which again is kind of the same sort of twitchy movement, being able to snipe and stuff, and hitting your target and all that crap. It's hard for me to explain because they tickle 2 sides of the same area of my brain, if that makes any sense. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. My basic to summarize, if you will, to summarize, I'm forsaking RNGesus. I'm going to stick to games that I suck at rather than the game sucks me out of. You know what I mean? And also, big shout out to Carlos, Rattlehead. Big shout out to Eggwife. I'd like to thank both of you guys for helping me come to this epiphany, helping me coalesce these disparate ideas into a thought, even if I'm not the best at, expressing that thought. Anyway, I have been Max Angor, and I will see you all next time.